How much time do you spend preparing for moments that matter most? A board presentation, a site visit, a difficult conversation. Now, most leaders burn the midnight oil for the first two, but when it comes to conflict, preparation often disappears. Let's just sit down and talk, they say. And that's usually where things go wrong. Hi, I'm Carl Piester. For more than 3 decades, I've coached executives and senior leaders who face high-stake conversations every day. The ones who succeed don't rely on instinct or charisma. They prepare. They understand that preparation isn't just about knowing the facts. It's about understanding yourself, the other person, and what outcome you want to create. Let's talk about why preparation is one of the greatest sources of power that a leader has. And unfortunately, one of the places where we use that power the least. Not in a power hierarchical, but just a power to get things done. Let's run some scenarios. You have a major presentation to senior management. How much time do you dedicate to preparation? You have a site visit for magnet status for your hospital. How much time do you dedicate to that preparation? You have a site visit from Joint Commission, something that makes everyone nervous. How much time do you dedicate to preparation? I've seen staffs completely role play. They know their roles. They know the material. People are prepped. They dedicate time because those things are important. However, let's consider this. You have a difficult conversation in a high conflict situation. How much time do you dedicate to preparation? Sadly, my experience would show that while the first 3 would cause most people to burn the midnight oil, the latter would be something that just might cause some thought. But since it is just a conversation, a conflict situation, how do you really prepare for something like that? Well, let's just sit down and talk about it, which is why most people don't have a lot of success with difficult conversations. And if given a choice, avoid them or postpone them as much as they can. I'm currently reading an incredible book on navigating conflict by the author Deepak Malhotra of the Harvard Business School. The title is Negotiating the Impossible. In fact, it's right here behind me. Negotiating the Impossible. This is an absolute must-read book. It's literally, for me, a book I can't put down. It's amazing. He leads off his writing on the importance of preparation by referring back to the Constitutional Convention of 1787. The first part of the convention was supposed to start on May 11th of that year. James Madison and George Washington showed up, but no one else did. What did Madison do? He got to work. Over the next 2 weeks, he put together a working draft that was in final form when the rest of the delegates finally wandered in by the end of the month, May 25th. Now, Madison was not an imposing figure. He stood only 5 foot 4 inches and was extremely soft-spoken, thus he was rarely the center of attention. However, it was said of him, he was someone who always came forward as the best informed man of any point in the debate. Again, we talk about preparation. Now, Madison could have he could have taken those 2 weeks and done something else. Instead, he drafted a document that became the backbone of arguably the most enduring governmental document in history. Malhotra goes on to say, the benefits of thorough preparation are as evident in the complex deal making as they are in board meetings, sales calls, legal proceedings, and promotion discussions and faculty meetings. In every one of these environments, some show up woefully unprepared. Some have done enough preparation to get by, and others are ready to respond to almost anything. In a truly important situation, you don't want to be any of these people. You want to be a Madison, someone who has all the facts at your fingertips, who can anticipate the arguments and the reservations of the other parties, and get this, and who has carefully examined not just the strength, but also the weaknesses of your own argument. This is the person who is the hardest to ignore or push around. This is the person to whom others are most likely to give deference and who can most easily shape or reshape the process and the substantive negotiations successfully. Now, lest you be thinking, Carl, I'm not talking about negotiations, I'm just having a difficult conversation. Anytime you're in a conflictual situation, you're in a negotiation. So again, be a Madison. When you go into a difficult conflictual situation, as I said, be a Madison. Not to push the other party around, but to know what your approach needs to be in order to get the best outcome from the situation, not just for yourself, but for the other party. You also need to be disciplined enough to keep being prepared, even when you believe there is no need to be. Again, let's say that again. You need to be disciplined enough to keep being prepared, even when you believe there is no need to be. I was in a meeting the other day and heard someone say, we stopped having coordination meetings because everything was going well, and we didn't think we needed them anymore. Not quite following that one. We stopped putting gas in the tank because everything was running well. Could it be that things are running well because the coordination meetings are happening where crucial issues are handled before they become problems? Just wondering. The author of Negotiating the Impossible states it best. There is a and this is so important, so let's slow down and say this slowly and listen well. There is a tendency, especially in times of peace, to underinvest in the processes that can help maintain relationships and in institutions that can help sustain the peace. That is worth repeating again. And it's also worth stopping, going to get a pen and paper, and writing this one down. There is a tendency, especially in times of peace, to underinvest in processes that can help maintain relationships and in institutions that can help sustain the peace. So a lot to digest today. This is foundational thinking that is essential for strong leadership. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to subscribe for more insights on leadership, conflict resolution, and emotional intelligence. And if you're ready to take the next step in your own leadership development, just go to coachinggroupinc.com to learn how preparation and coaching can change the way you lead. Because when you're prepared, you're already leading. When you're prepared, you're already leading. And if we can help in that preparation, we're on board and delighted to do so. Thanks for being with us today.